If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wait, what? Really? Okay.
Okay, with your host, Loren Weisman.
This is a fully licensed theme song for the show about stuff that makes you say, wait, what? Really? Okay.
Okay.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you want to be happy about. This is Loren Weisman. This is the Wait What Really Okay podcast. And the episode titled today is the question, are most motivational and business coaches bad for you or bad for your business? I believe the answer is an astounding yes. Now, come back to the point that yes, there are some out there. There are some people that have the authority, the expertise, the experience, and the ability to help you, to help your vision, to help your business. However, I can firmly state objectively that the majority out there are dangerous. The majority out there are false. They are fake. They are using different applications, different strategies, and different marketing techniques to jump past experience and in many cases all of a sudden become the overnight expert. So the point of this episode here, it's not a call to action. This is not a call to action for you to come to FSG, Fish Stewarding Group, me, anything like that. The call to action in this episode is for you to have a better look at the people that are looking to work with you. If you take away anything from this, I hope it ties into your practice of due diligence, your practice of vetting, your practice of questioning, and your practice of doing the research to ensure that if you feel you need that consultant or you need that coach, that it's the right fit and that they are going to help you out strategically, educationally. And yes, there's an aspect, and I know some people need motivation, but there are also a lot of these so-called business coaches that are selling motivational packages with no substance to them whatsoever. Almost that sense of you can do it, and you'll pay a lot of money to get the sense that you can do it, but you end up not knowing how to do it. And many of these people get stuck in a line of payment to continue to pay, to be told you can do it, and just seeming to be teased that more of that information is coming down the line. So it's looking into the investment that you have in yourself. And first off, to just hit the motivation thing right on the top. If you need someone to motivate you to follow your dream, maybe you have the wrong dream. And again, I'm not trying to be harsh, but if you have to pay for all this motivation, and there are many people out there that will pay and put so much time into motivation, yet take so little time and spend so little on the information that they need for whatever they want to do. I run into a great number of people that, how did you become this? How do I get involved with Fish Stewarding Group? I want to be a strategist for Fish Stewarding Group. I had a conversation with a guy and he sent me a resume. And it was one of those resumes about more about the personal attributes and less about experience. And I asked him some questions. And past the motivation, I got nothing. It was, well, I really believe that anybody can do anything and that a true company can help anyone. I don't believe that, and Fish Stewarding Group doesn't believe that either. You can go right to the front of our website. We work with authentic and authoritative individuals and visions. And that's the number one thing to bring up here. It's not a bad thing to be able to say you can't help everyone. Because in that, if you're making that statement, if you claim you can help anyone become successful, or someone saying that to you. You can help anyone get to 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever. How moral is that? So that means that they could take someone with literally no experience and move them through. That's dangerous. It turns into the same thing about wisdom now going for hype, as opposed to the root, the foundation, people that have gained wisdom, that have chased after wisdom, that have educated themselves, that have had experiences, good and bad, that have brought them to this point. They are wise enough to now move to a place where they can teach, they can steward, they can strategize, they can consult, and they can sleep at night. I wonder if a lot of these people that, are out there to make that buck, to set up that consulting empire, really can sleep at night saying, am I doing this so that it's benefiting me, but also benefiting others? Many are out there right now explaining how to get your 6-figure, 7-figure coaching practice off the ground, using certain applications that will get you on video, that will cut you off at a certain point to guarantee they're going to want more. They have these programs that teach you how to sell, how to market, how to get a client to commit, how to price yourself and believe in what you're worth, how to repurpose other people's intelligence. There's an app out there right now. And no, I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to set up any of the defamation of character stuff, any of that counter stuff. But there's an app out there right now that states on its site, take any article you really like, something that you feel represents you, run it through this application, and it will change the language so it doesn't look like it's a duplicate and you won't be penalized for potential plagiarism. That seems like a pretty dangerous thing. And I popped one of my articles in there just to see what would happen. And it was a very careful thing. And I checked the plagiarism checker. It did actually ping a couple times, but overall, you pull a few red marks out and it looks like a completely different article. It is scary how much of the scam is out there for people that want to teach those that are, as they state, hungry to learn, but not looking to dig deeper to find out if who they're learning from, if they can teach it at all. So take that time. Look into this. Again, not all business coaches, strategists, people like that are bad. But it is your responsibility, and you, I believe, should hold yourself accountable to look into those individuals. And that goes for business strategy. That goes for therapy. I mean, right now, you've gone from the people that used to go to school for years for therapy, that have degrees and experience. And yet now you have the motivational coach that took this thing and they're being very careful with the word of how they can help you with your depression, how they can help you with whatever therapy you may need. Some of these people, do you really want to talk to someone that has gone through years of training and understanding and learning and experience? Or do you want to jump right to an individual that did a 20-hour course and got a pass? They passed because they paid for it. This goes into some of the biggest business consulting certificates. Now, I'm not knocking the Maxwell certificate or the Tony Robbins. Some of them are questionable, but if you pay them, you will receive them. Now, there are some that will go through those programs, and in turn, they have the experience, and they're genuinely and authentically trying to put together the organization. That's great. There are others that have no experience whatsoever, and they just want to use that name. They want to use the web module. They want to use the apps. They want to set up everything and get you to consult with them. So watch out for that. Dig deeper. Look into the past. Here's some ways to vet. It's not just, and I laugh about this because it's a podcast here, but there was a guy that was stating, he goes, you want to look like an expert, put out a podcast and just talk about that topic and talk about it aggressively. And you'll look like an expert. In what world? Interestingly enough, and here I am doing a podcast, I'm not trying to do anything aggressive. I'm asking you to look at things, and I'm not asking you to click on anything. I don't want you to like me, follow me, connect with me. I don't want you to check out Fish Stewarding Group. I don't want you to check out anything we're doing. I don't want to work with you. If somewhere down the line you find that this resonates with you and you look into some of the materials and that's a choice down the line, great. But this is not a call to action at all. And that's something to look out for. Are the videos, the images, the podcasts, the blogs, are they all call to actions? Are they all dangling for the low-hanging fruit to try to draw you in? Or are they delivering information that has an authenticity and an authority to it that may be able to help you, regardless of whether you go to that person or not? How many times are they pitching themselves to you? And inside of that, when you search because of plagiarism going wild, are you seeing a consistent amount of material from an individual showcasing a background of authority? Or is it all just sales and hype and promises? It's a dangerous place to be right now when these people can guarantee success to anyone. You may want to look out for that one. There's so many people that are taking opinions. They're shifting their subjective opinions into objective facts that are not true. They're claims. And fortunately, with the changes online, elements of Google and some of the other search engines and even social media is starting to penalize these people. And I'm a big fan of it. There's something out there right now. A whole bunch of people are trying to shift some stuff that's happening at Google on a government level, saying it's unfair about how these searches are pushing certain people down. I'm glad they're there. They're pushing down false people. They're pushing down people making unsubstantiated, unproven claims. Now, it's better to place something inside of an opinion, but it's even better than that to showcase your knowledge and why you back up that opinion and where you can back up that opinion. The other side of it too, pardon for the sniffles, it is right here. Is it over-polished? Is the video just too pretty and the content too weak? Does it need to be perfect? The podcast doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need the perfect audio. I'm not going to edit out the sniffles I'm having right now. I'm getting a message across. I hope that you gain something from this message, but I'm not going to try to wow you in or wow you out. Yes, I want to have it sound professional. I have a distribution system for this thing. However, I'm not going to spend all this time focused on making it pretty and flashy and look at me. I'd rather the content stand for itself. And if that content doesn't resonate with you, so be it. Allow yourself that kind of humility in the connections that you're trying to make. As opposed to trying to draw everyone in, draw those in that tie to you. And also, maybe it's not time to be a consultant. Maybe you're not there yet. One level of success, and this is what a dangerous key. Someone has success. They take over. I got one guy in particular, takes over his dad's business, brings it up a notch. Now his dad sold it. I can't remember the full story. It was about a year and a half back. And he's stating that he reorganizes businesses. Now, he had a massive budget to work with. He had a lot of tools that made it very easy for him to do what he did that not everybody has. And yet from there, he's trying to build off of something much bigger. And that's dangerous, and that's not true. And when it comes to truth, what is truth? And there are many that have no problem with lying. And that's where it's your responsibility to look in to see if they are lying and looking for the patterns of truth, authentic, authoritative truth. Or is it just hype? If they're promising they can do it for everyone, watch out. If the hype that they send you, if as you search it, it shows to a whole bunch of other people, watch out. If you can't find the genuine authority beyond the marketability, beyond the hype, when people put up these pictures of, look, I just deposited this amount this month. These are marketing hype tools to try to fool you. And it's fooling a lot of people. And then these people turn around and, they want their money back, but they don't because they signed the app contract, so they get no refund. Many of these people, and you don't hear these stories as much, they hired that business consultant, that motivational person. They followed their ideas, and then they got sued, or they did something illegal, or they didn't realize they were in trademark violation or copyright violation. They messed up with licenses. They played a card they shouldn't have played because they were advised and told by this individual. And this individual in their little, if they did it through an app or they had you sign this no liability clause, it sits totally on that client and it screws them over. So especially be careful in what you listen to and what you're told to do with these that take no liability in sharing it. I look at things and I look at things from bearing the weight together. It's an element of understanding as you walk someone through. It's their decision on what to do. And then, to me, an authentic, a moral consultant, strategist, whatever you want to call it, is going to advise, give the reason why, and allow that individual to take the steps. If they're just saying, you need to do this, go do this, do that, oh, don't worry about that. All you have to do is this. These are all warning signs. So look a little bit deeper to protect your vision. Oftentimes, there are these guys, you got to scream this out to the world. You got to call everybody you know. If you don't have your protection in line, if you don't have all of these elements, you scream something out, you don't have the protection on, somebody else can take it. They can run with it. And there's absolutely nothing you can do with it if you haven't formatted the foundation, the protection, and the legal elements or put any of that in place. So the point is, and kind of circling back, is motivational and business coaching and these coaches, are they harmful, for you, for your business health, for your vision? I again believe the answer is yes to the majority. I also believe there is a minority of people that have had experiences, that have put together programs, and not some in-the-box template, but for how they can work with someone as an individual, how they can work with a company, how they can work for a short time, a long time. However, it's the responsibility on your part, if you're looking, to really vet, to look into what's going on, what they know, how they do it, how they deliver, what they don't do, where they come from. If it's that easy, which so many do, that just subscribe to the hype, it's going to be that easy to fail and that much quicker. If you take the time, ask the questions, don't get sucked into the funnel, you may end up not only finding the right person or right people, but avoiding those that right now just want to, funnel you in to make more money off you. I believe, and FSG believes, that you can profit at the expense of no one. The concept is that for the money you make, for the money that you take from someone, that they are getting something of the same value, that they are being protected. And we've come into a world of marketing where I'm going to focus on getting as many clients, as many customers. I'm going to pull this thing through. I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to cover my back, not care about anyone else. I'm going to set up these app systems so I can cut someone off, so I can dangle some small low-hanging fruit and continue to go on, as opposed to really caring. Look to the individuals that might not be able to serve the world. Look to the individuals or the companies that can show what they're doing, why they do it, how they do it. Look to the individuals that hold you accountable. One thing that I put out there, FSG puts out there, it's in the end your choice. We can set up, and many consultants, many companies can set up a blueprint, a template made solely for you. However, if the map, the navigation, it's all set in place, you choose not to apply it, then isn't that on you? So put in the time. Challenge these people. And if they don't come back and give you an answer, or they just roll out hype, maybe it's time to walk away. Ensure that anyone that you're working with, strategically, coaching-wise, consultant, whatever, that they have some kind of authoritative educational ground to stand on, and not just some hype certificate or number promises of, you'll make this much in this many months, or all of these things popping out every other minute. Look for the validity, the authority, the authenticity, and the education so that you can create the stability in whatever you're working on, and that can grow and compound for a while with this consultant or coach or company, but especially without them. In a sense, and many of them, they go the other way on this, make sure that you're building and learning to know and not having to constantly hang on to someone who's going to continually dangle information in a way that isn't that helpful for you. Again, be careful. Watch out for those that explain things from only a selling standpoint over the idea of an educational standpoint. If all their videos are stand up this way and speak this way and do, great, so they've shared everything about selling and marketing. But have they shared how they're going to educate you on the specific task, product, service, or whatever you're building? Ensure that it's information, not just motivation, and ensure that there's authority behind it over just popularity and hype. And you may do that much better with whoever you work with.
Wait, what? Really? Okay.